Today I'm giving you the exact warm-up routine of one of the most unstoppable pro players in the world. Pxlarized. Pxlarized is one of the best players in the world and has some of the fastest mechanics anyone has ever seen. Let me show you exactly how Pxlarized practiced to become one of the fastest pro players in the world. The first part of his routine is Martoz Turtle Wars. This is basically where you keep on fighting and respawning inside of a cage. This map is great for warming up as it allows you to practice building, editing and aiming all at once. Not only this, but you get tons of fighting practice. With this part of the routine, you want to aim to be as consistent with your builds and edit, but you also want to make sure you're focusing on your crosshair placement and keeping your crosshair at head level. This makes it much more likely that you'll hit headshots because you won't have to adjust your crosshair as much when you line up your shot. Also, make sure that you're balanced in the amount of building, editing and aiming you do, so you don't heavily focus on aiming and not building or editing at all. So don't just only aim and never actually build and edit, but also make sure you don't just spam builds and only get into fight. Something else you probably shouldn't do is take bad peeks like this. What the f***, he's crazy. You need to find a balance between all three so you improve as quick as possible. Also, the codes to all the maps I show you in this video are in the description. After the first map, Pxlarized then starts the free build. But the trick he uses is what makes this part of the routine so effective. Before I tell you the trick, he also mentioned that when you're free building, you should mainly focus on consistency, crosshair placement and speed. I'll explain more about this later. But first he changes his speed to 0.8 times and then starts free building. This is where he focuses on being consistent and working on crosshair placement. When improving your crosshair placement, it's all about making sure that you're moving your crosshair as little as possible, because the more you move your crosshair in an edit, the longer it's going to take you to actually complete the edit. He also said that in this stage of his free build, he tries to focus on triple edits and quad edits. If you're a beginner, you can focus on double edits and work your way up as you improve. But he does this for 3 minutes. After he's finished this speed, he moves on to 1.4 times speed. This is where you try to do as much as you can whilst trying not to mess up. The goal here is to work on your edit speed and edit timing. One technique that he uses when free building is tunneling. Once he finishes free building on this speed for around 3 minutes, he then moves on to normal speed. This is where you just want to free build normally, and what you should notice is that the game will feel a lot easier. You should also try to be as consistent as possible whilst being fast, and keep in mind the key factors of editing like crosshair placement and edit timing. Once again, he free builds with this speed for around 3 minutes. Another key thing Pxlarized said is that when he was trying to get better, he used to watch his favourite pros free build, and then he would go into creative and try to copy what retakes his favourite pros were doing. He actually done this for 2 years, and it's one of the ways he became the fastest pro player. I have a video covering all the best high ground retakes that some of the best pro players use, so check it out if you want to. But before you do, you need to make sure you're doing the last step of Pxlarized's warm-up routine. And the last step is Raider's mechanics training map V4. So make sure you're doing these exact drills, because these are the ones that Pxlarized used to become such a good player, and I guarantee you, you'll improve as well. So the first thing he does is go to the piece control with target section. The goal here is to make sure you piece control every single part and make smart right hand peeks. A tip that Pxlarized suggests is that you get into the habit of resetting the wall every time you shoot the bot. This makes it much more realistic and helps build muscle memory, so you can apply the same skills when you fight in a real game. Pxlarized does all the piece control drills, and when it comes to how long you should be doing on each one, I would recommend doing each drill for about 5 to 10 rounds. But that isn't it. Next, Pxlarized runs through the piece control tunnels. This just really makes sure that you're editing and building consistently and helps build muscle memory. Once again, here you just want to place a build everywhere you can in a tunnel. And that is the warm-up routine of Pxlarized. But if you want to learn how to become a pro in chapter 5, then I just picked out this video specifically for you, so go and watch that. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and if you want to support me further, consider using code Blexiti in the Fortnite item shop.